The
Number two.
Yeah, number 2.
Not in the toilet. Just
No.
in podcast.
Yeah, no. So, this is the second. This is the second podcast for us.
It's going amazing.
Yep, great start. But yeah, for the funny start, we will be talking about a pretty serious thing today.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Very serious. I guess I'll start because I don't think Rory remembers this.
Yeah, my memory's pretty shoddy.
Yeah.
Through a lot of it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to go over this, and obviously Rory's going to have his own thoughts and whatnot. But so obviously Rory and myself are filmers. We decided to go out for a skate one day, and this was just average weekend. You know, we work through the week, so average is all hell.
Yeah. Wasn't just in a car park. It wasn't to do anything crazy.
Yeah, we went for a drive. We decided we wanted to go for a skate. I didn't actually want to skate that day, so I was going to film.
Yeah.
So I took the.
It was more about the filming of it, than than doing anything insane on the board.
Yeah. So I took the camera and the gimbal with me, and Rory took his skateboard, and we went out to a destination, and I guess we just started doing a little bit of little snake runs, I guess you'd call them, just floating in the air, nothing dangerous, I guess you'd say in terms of a skateboarder's perspective.
Yeah. And I should say I've skated for a long time since I was a young teenager.
Yeah. So
I felt pretty
normal.
comfortable.
It's normal. And likewise, so them sort of that environment wasn't anything unusual, and if it was, we wouldn't have skated. Like we're them type of people anyhow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite normal. We done like a practice take. We had like sun coming in from one side, sort of, composing our shot. Not that it was really working towards anything. It was just more or less practicing and keeping consistent with our work.
Yeah.
We went for the final take, I guess you'd say, and Rory gathered a bit of speed. As he got down to the end of the run, I sort of veered off to try and keep him in frame. He sort of got a lot of speed, and just one of them freak accidents where a bit of not too much speed either. I'm not talking crazy speed either. It was just he just sort of got flung as he was veering, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of jumped off, from what I can tell anyway from the footage, I kind of jumped off the board as I hit the grass and was kind of jogging to a stop.
Yeah.
But I just didn't see this tree.
Yeah, so there was a tree just next to the grass as Rory fell. And as he sort of came off, he tried to put his hands up to sort of protect himself, as you do. Unfortunately, it was just not in the nick of time.
Yeah, it was head
first into a tree and sort of just got ragdolled straight to the ground. It was pretty crazy. For me, when that happened, I just assumed naturally that Rory was sort of, just knocked out.
Yeah.
Instantly, I was a fair, I would say about 8 meters away from him. So I had to sort of run up to see him, and as you think he's just going to wake up. I can't even tell you how long that time was in between because it was so crazy. But sitting there waiting for Rory to come back, and it just wasn't happening. I started to panic as I, tried to pull out my phone and do all that. Luckily, I had a couple pull over.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, and a couple pulled over and assisted me and took the phone and started guiding the ambulance out there. During this time, Rory was, convulsing. His whole body was convulsing. He was
started having a seizure.
Yeah, and essentially I was trying to, as time passed, as I'm holding his head and trying to talk to him and bring him to, he gradually starts bleeding, and having blood coming out of his like, his ears and his mouth and his nose and all of that. And that was literally, not that I didn't think it was serious before, but that's when I just knew, like, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Like, this is super, super bad. And yeah, Rory started, choking on his tongue. I was guided by the ambulance to just try and remove all the gunk, and obviously, like, brain fluid is coming up in his mouth, and he's...
I can't believe you had to do all that. Like, I'm still so thankful, Raj, for that.
Oh man, any day. But as it happens, it's happening so fast, and you're so scared, I, without realizing at the time, but I was in, like, severe shock. Like, I was shaking. I was a pin drop from just about to, like, emotionally die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just all too much for me. Being, Rory being my best friend too, so that was
out of the blue.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. So at that point, Rory sort of was completely unconscious and dealing with all of that. The ambulance got there in a really, really good time.
Yeah.
Once they got there, we sort of assisted him. He had to be taken into Wagga Hospital.
Yeah.
And once we got there, I was with my wife, and my wife drove me down there, and we waited down there, as we're all sort of great friends within ourselves. Me and my partner. So my partner took me down there, and we waited there as I called up Rory's mum and sort of had to tell her the news.
That wouldn't have been fun.
That was horrible. And I think at first it was kind of just like, what do you say in that situation?
Exactly.
I hadn't talked to your mum for maybe like 3 months. It was like, and I didn't have her number.
Yeah.
So, and I luckily I had your phone and your possessions.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just like, please, Rory, don't have a pin on your phone. And I got in.
Yeah.
So I rang your mum off your phone. It was like, them things, like, were crushing, because it was like your mum answers and she's like, hey darling, hey Rory, and it's like, oh no, it's like, it's Raj, like, you need to come to Wagga now, like, Rory's hurting himself, like, and she's sort of like, oh, what has he done now? Because, like, both of us, like, it's just
exactly.
like broken elbow, broken finger, something's happened. And it's like, no, it's serious, you need to come now. Unfortunately, Rory, had severe bleeding to the brain once we found out at the hospital, with a hemorrhage, and it wasn't looking good at all. Luckily, he was about to be airlifted to Canberra, and luckily, because his mum obviously comes from Atlow, she just got there in the nick of time, because obviously it happened so quick, and she got there in an amazing time. And we were lucky enough to just see you, and once we seen you, you were all hooked up to the tubes. We got shown all the scans,
all that,
and that,
and stuff.
All of that was just, for me, that was like life changing, like, that was just ridiculous. Like, it just put a stop to everything that I ever thought was, like, important, or, like, it's just like a moment where you just bang and stop. So basically, Rory got airlifted out.
Out to Canberra.
And for days it wasn't looking good.
Yeah.
And Rory's obviously in induced coma.
Yeah. I didn't know too much about what was going on in that time, but, like, I heard that I went from Wagga, from the accident happening to Canberra, in 4 hours. They chopped me straight over, and I went straight into surgery. When I got there, they kept me unconscious, obviously, for the whole thing, so I don't remember any of it. But they took me in for surgery straight away, because I had a bunch of swelling on the brain, apparently, and stuff like that. And they took a section of the skull off and kept me in the coma and whatnot. And they attempted to keep me in for I think 10 days, but I came out on the 7th day, just of my own accord. Don't know what was going on there.
You were wiggling.
Yeah, from what I hear, I was pretty agitated and like whatnot, as you would be when you're kind of heavily sedated and you don't quite have. My memory was just gone. I had no idea what had happened. That was once I woke up, but I didn't realise during the coma that my lung collapsed, and yeah, they had to rush back, and I died. I was legally dead for 25 minutes.
Yeah,
but they got me back. Like they just cleared it out and stuff, and it was good after that. But yeah, it was that, like, just all this stuff happening was just insane. By the time I woke up, I just I had no idea what had happened. Like, I don't remember where I was. I thought I was in Wagga. I just didn't realise like how serious it was.
And you're very like sedated too, but I think like even like there was days there of like Rory was saying too, where there was complications in between them procedures too.
Yeah.
And obviously he had his brother Grant there, and all his family and friends that were, there by his side, and everyone was speaking to him, and we could tell that even when he was unconscious and going through it, that he was still moving, and he wanted to communicate it with us like so bad.
Yeah.
Like, and
that was strange. That was a strange feeling. Like,
oh yeah, like, and like even further, like on more personal levels, like Rory was in the hospital, and when he was starting to come to, obviously he always had sort of family by his side and that, and as he was getting better, he wanted out of there.
Oh, so bad.
Like,
I'm not a huge fan of hospitals, that's for sure.
And he was he wanted to get out of there so bad that he was just like he was trying to persuade people and getting him out of there. Like,
just trying to get out. How I would offer nurses money to get me out, and I was missing half my skull. It took me so long to realise it until I touched my head and was like, "What the hell?"
But you would forget that
straight
away.
I have to keep going. My memory was like, my whole mind was just
shot.
shook.
Yeah,
like,
it was shot.
Yeah, there was nothing I could remember. I couldn't remember anything.
But at one point he was like you were sort of tied down, obviously, to stop you from moving.
Really didn't enjoy that.
Nah, and his mother was there one day, and he was communicating with his mum. Obviously, things are pretty emotional in them points, but Rory leans in to try and communicate with his mum. I think it was one of the first couple of days that you were actually communicating to,
true.
And starting to properly come to, and he leans in as if to give his mum a cuddle, and he just disguises that as so he can hide, so he can start doing the bands off on his arm. So his mum's leaning in for a cuddle, but Rory's just trying to do his bands off.
I got in trouble because I pulled out my feeding tube in my nose 4 times. It ended up being really bad.
And I felt bad being there as a friend, because it was are we enabling this? Because you go there and Rory's just like, what are we doing? Let's go. Why are we here?
Get out of here.
And it was just it sounds weird saying it now, but in the state of mind that he was in, he was dead set.
Yeah.
You did not.
I had no idea what had happened. It took me a really long time, to be honest. I had to wait until months later after the injury and sort of study traumatic brain injury a bit and do some research on it, and that sort of helped me. And it's still such a crazy injury that, on a part of the human body we know so little about.
Yeah, exactly.
That they're all, every one of them is incredibly different, everyone's recovery. So,
and let's just state too, I know this is all sort of said with humour, but obviously this was very, very serious when this was happening.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
for
like
sure.
not one part of this was very funny at all. But
Yeah, I
know.
kind of didn't calm down until they put the skull back in.
yeah,
I was really worried the whole time I was in hospital because when I woke up originally, I couldn't talk and I couldn't walk and I couldn't write and I'd lost my ability to do everything. Like
Everything.
It was all gone.
and even little things with like personality. I think on the first couple of days when you were coming back to it was very, you know. But I think with all of that, like you had so much to take in just there and then, whether like not considering like to recollect everything else in your life too. Like
yeah, it was so full on.
oh,
I
like,
can't like I don't know what to equate it to, like, because you know, like I said, I've skated forever and I've had stitches and, you know, I've you know,
Likewise, yeah.
and really hurt myself and banged my head and too many times over my life, but
like harder than what you did that day.
way harder.
Likewise,
way
like
harder,
it's
yeah.
just
Yeah, and that one was just a bad one at a bad angle. When I hit the tree, it broke my eye socket. It fractured my eye socket, and when they were doing the surgery, they spotted a hematoma on the side of my brain. They just didn't even know it was there, but they found it, and so they decided to take that out as well when they did the second surgery. And I'm chuffed they did that, because that's like because it's a stroke waiting to happen. Like
and you were wearing like the stroke pants and everything.
Yes, I had. Yeah, and I hated that. There was lots of stuff in hospital that was.
Oh,
tough.
you didn't like one thing about it.
there was just moments that were uncalled for, like, you know, getting washed by a 40-year-old woman when you can totally stand and you've told the person you can stand. I get they're just trying to help you, but
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
You had the cheekiness of a 12-year-old again.
Yeah, it's just
like
it had me on so many drugs.
You were just so ready, but yeah. So obviously, you know, all of that was a big thing to deal with for everyone. You know, all of Rory's friends across his life, because obviously the character that Rory is, we all know him. Yeah, it was such a crazy thing for all of us, and I can only speak on the behalf of all of us that it's like, you know, it's. Yeah, you make a huge impact in all of our lives, man, and it's just such a gift to be granted to, you know, continue that journey with you and have you in our lives, you know.
Man, I'm so stoked. I'm like, you know, so much. It could have just been so worse the whole time. Like, you know, I'm so stoked with the way it's come out, and like I've still got a lot of recovery to do, but at the same time, what they call early stages of recovery have been really positive and stuff. And
I mean, he went up to, obviously he went to Aubrey. You know, you've
did
had
rehabilitation and stuff.
Multiple appointments, and
it's been non-stop with doctors, which I totally appreciate. I just didn't realize the seriousness of it. Like I said, I've never had a serious injury, so all of it was brand new to me. The whole thing. But everyone's been awesome. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, you know, there was a period there where, you know, Rory was recovering, and he had minor things like fatigue and stuff like that. That was a big thing, and that scared me. Because you know, we'd go to hang out, and it's like you could just see within an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours of.
My speech would slur, and it still does every now and again. But
tired,
the fatigue was pretty bad. Yeah, there's still things that I'm gonna have to work on. But I love a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I think, like, you know, everything that has passed, like even right up to now, and into representation to what I knew of you before, like there's nothing changed in that perspective.
I'm glad to hear that, because like that was a real worry for me. I mean that I'd come back and with a serious kind of disability, and that would really affect my life, my lifestyle and stuff, and I was worried for that, and I'm just so thankful. Unbelievable. I couldn't be more thankful. Every day is like the best day ever for me. Stoked.
And I guess, like, to keep other people up to date and stuff like that too, like, where are you at now in your recovery? Not that I don't know, but I guess like with work and everything like that.
Yeah, it should all come back soon. Hopefully, that's the plan. I'll be able to return. But because there was a seizure involved and stuff, there's driving issues and whatnot, a lot of stuff like that.
Everything. So much stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has to be cleared off by the government to make sure that I can go do what I love to do, which is work for Win News as a cameraman and get back to it. So hopefully they'll let me go back even part-time in the very near future. So I'm looking so forward to that.
Yeah, and everything mentally and physically, you're feeling like better and better every day.
Yeah, I do. It seems to all slowly be coming back. It was tough in the beginning, it really was, but as more time passes between now and the accident, I feel more comfortable and more like myself.
Yeah, and your energy for sure. Like even over the last 2 weeks, I've noticed like huge energy. Like even just the past week, like you coming in the door, just like let's do shit.
Yeah,
we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, and you've got that fucking eager look in your eye.
I think it's I didn't like when you break an arm, you can chuck a cast on it, and 6 weeks later you're pretty good. You can kind of get back to it. I didn't. With a brain injury or a traumatic brain injury, it's a completely different story. Brain doesn't quite heal as quick as everything else. Plus, it's doing all the work 24/7.
At the same time, it's such a amazing how quick it can heal. And
that's it.
But I guess even in them times, I guess Rory's lucky and he's fortunate that he has a job that they're behind him in this, and they've been behind him since it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't thank them enough.
I'm very thankful too, just to give shout out to my work.
And all the guys.
And Josh there too. The support that we all had through that
it helps so
situation makes it a little bit easier to get through them times. And it's been such a journey, but I guess too, like to touch on like safety too, because that's like a big thing now too, is
that's the big one.
At the end of this, at the end of everything, like with extreme sort of sports, like with this accident, it wouldn't have happened. If it did happen, it would have been a minor injury if Rory did have a helmet on. And I'm not calling out Rory here, I'm calling out myself. I'm calling out like everyone that's
all
skated
of us
before,
that skate or ride push bikes or scooters. Just please put a helmet on.
Think about it, man. Like
it takes from the height of your head to the ground to change your life.
And I mean, like, I've always considered myself like a pretty safe dude, but I've always been someone that's gone head first at skateboarding too, and you don't want to get to the point where that's literal, like, what I mean, like, because man, that was the worst thing I went through. I've been through some shit in my life, and
some of Ryan's stories are horror stories.
Don't do that, man. Like, don't be that friend. Watch out for your boys and watch out for your sisters and your friends and everything, man, because if you are doing these sort of sports, just be aware that it can really go bad, and
that's it.
We're very lucky that Rory's and even his surgeons will tell so too,
they were stoked.
It's a miracle that he's here and for him to tell this story. I
couldn't believe it.
Man, I love you, bro.
Oh, thanks, dude. I love you too.
But I guess should we wrap it up?
Yeah. I reckon we probably should.
All right. Well, this has been the second podcast for
Number
LPS.
2, the Deuce.
Number 2, the Deuce. But so that's it, and we'll have some more next week.
Yeah, we hope you like it. If you're listening, if you stuck with us,
Peace out.
Peace.